Hey guys, thanks so much for joining us for a weekly check-in on the Robinhood portfolio. I am specifically only tracking my Robinhood portfolio right now because it is the portfolio I am investing the most into right now. I do have another portfolio on TD Ameritrade, and because TD Ameritrade has commissions, I have opted to use Robinhood for now. Just a little bit of background. Thank you so much for joining the channel. My name is Sal. I am a newly minted investor, if you will. Over the last few months, we have been investing and saving, changing a lot about our lifestyle so that we can pay off debt more quickly. If you check out the rest of the videos on our channel, you'll start seeing a lot more information about how we're paying off our debt, how we're also saving, and how we are investing our money. So the purpose of this channel was to illustrate that you don't need a lot of money to start investing. One of the Facebook videos that I did on my Facebook Live for just friends and family was just illustrating the fact that I started, if I were to go to my account and look at the history, I started on June 27th, 2019 with a $10 deposit into my Robinhood portfolio. And from that, I was able to illustrate that from $10 to $500 doesn't take a lot in terms of the consistency and the commitment that it takes to add to your portfolio. And so when you're doing dividend investing, which is the strategy that I prefer, it is the strategy that I've been deep diving into with a lot of hyper focus. It is the strategy that I feel that over the next 30 years will have the most return on my money and set us up for a legacy and for my children to have a really bright future. So you can see that it doesn't really take a lot. I know there's a lot of bigger YouTube channels and bigger investors out there that are showing that they have $30,000, $100,000 or more. And I just want to encourage you guys that as we go on this journey, as these videos become more frequent, I'm trying to do these at least once a week. So definitely doing a weekly check-in on the portfolio, and then maybe even bumping it up to 2 videos a week where I just kind of sit face to face with you guys and talk about what's happening. Without further ado, we're just going to jump in here and go through the normal check-in that we would do. As you can see, the portfolio is in the red today as the Fed news has hit the stock market. As you can imagine, over the last 2 days, I think overall has been maybe a loss of, I actually jokingly made a Facebook Live video saying investing is inherently risky. And that day I was jokingly saying that I had lost 59 cents in the stock market. Well, joke's on me. Yesterday, I think I lost a total of $5. Today, after hours, down 50 cents or up 50 cents. But overall today lost another $2.30. And that's easy to look at the day and then just panic. And especially for a new investor like myself, I've had a few friends that are following the Robinhood portfolio, signing up with my link, which if you are interested, there's a link in the description. I would love it if you guys got a free stock. If you're new to this, I get a free stock and you get a free stock. But it's easy to look at this and just kind of panic and say, I'm losing money. I just started. I put $10 in my portfolio and I've already started to lose some of it. What's going on? Well, as you get into this lifestyle of dividend trading or just in general trading stocks and bonds and options, you really need to start focusing on the news. You really need to shift over and start looking at what's happening in the world. You actually have to be an active participant in this community. So on the day, you can see that I'm down $2.30. On the week, though, when you look at it as an overall picture, I'm up $9.79. So a 1% increase in my portfolio. Looking at the month, we're up $43.14. Looking at the last 3 months, which again, I started in late May, early June, you can see that the cash that I have in here, money that I have put into it, is $496 with a total return of 9.65 over the last 3 months, which is a gain of $47. Now, this doesn't include the dividends that I've gotten. I'm going to touch on that here in the latter part of the video as far as tracking the dividend. There's a really great channel out there. Actually, there's quite a few channels out there that talk about tracking your dividends. Joseph Carlson, shout out to you. You have a great spreadsheet that I'm using to track the dividend income, but also Andrei as well just did a video about his portfolio. I went ahead and signed up for the Patreon account to get the dividend portfolio tracker numbers program. If you're on an OS, Mac OS, you would be using the numbers application. If you are a Windows user, you would be using Excel. So it's a really great application. I actually spent the morning putting everything in there, seeing where we're at, because it's so easy to kind of get lost in the minutia of all the stocks here on the right-hand side and not really have a visualization of what the future looks like. So I'll share that with you in just a minute. Over the last 3 months, like I said, Ford was one of the first stocks that I ever purchased. At the time, it was about $10, give or take. I think $10.06 is when I first got in. Now it's down to $9.29. So I'm at a a loss here for a little bit, but again, these are companies that have been paying dividends, that have been tracking for 60 plus years, dividend aristocrats or dividend champs, whatever the nomenclature that you want to use. I did start doing some research on Office Depot, and I was just flabbergasted at the fact that Office Depot, a huge company like that, is $1.86. It jumped up to $2 a couple of days ago, and it just kind of stays there, and I'm happy with that. That's one of my long-term holds. All of these are going to be long-term holds, and their dividend is pretty nice as well. So just going down the list, GE, got my first dividend from them, a whopping 1 cent dividend. I turned around and I purchased some more purchased some more shares from GE. Ford, as I mentioned, ACB, which is Aurora Cannabis. That is actually one of my non-dividend paying stocks. I think it's actually the only non-dividend paying stock. And that's more of a speculation stock on my end. I understand that this market is going to be exploding here in the next few years as the legislation starts to be nationalized in terms of allowing cannabis to be a legal product. So good is Gladstone. T is T-Mobile. This was actually a recommendation from a mentor of mine, a friend of mine. It's US Steel, great company, long-term, been doing really great, has always been paying their dividends. When you start to do the research on a lot of these, which I wholeheartedly expect you guys to be doing the research on, there's a lot of great resources out there, Seeking Alpha, dividends.com. This allows you to see a company's dividend yield. This allows you to see what they're paying, when their X date is. And if any of these things make no sense to you and you don't know what they are, start doing the research, do the due diligence, and don't just take someone on YouTube or someone's blog and look at what they're buying and then go mimic that. There is something to be said about mimicking success, which I wholeheartedly agree with again, but make sure that you are looking into these stocks yourselves, do the due diligence, and making sure that you understand the risk that you're getting yourself into. SKT, that is up. I only have one share of that. You'll notice that a lot of these are 1 shares, 2 shares, 3s. ODP was the one that I have the most of because it's $1. I can throw $10 at this and have quite a few shares at the end of the day. This one I'm really excited about. This is ticker symbol O, which is Realty Income. Everybody's talking about Realty Income. It's a REIT. It is a real estate investment trust. Everybody's talking about it. So you don't really need to hear my opinion on it. I think everybody out there, if you're following these type of channels, understands the power of real estate investment trusts or REITs. Realty Income is one of the bigger ones. It's not cheap right now, but I got in at around $68, got 2 shares. Hanes Brands, that is one that everybody has to have closed. Well, wait till they get our hands on you. Now you can make a little bit of money back from them. My watch list is incredibly extensive. It just keeps growing by the day as I do more research. A lot of times, as I mentioned, if I get a blog post or a video where I see some really good returns that individual is talking about, I'll jot that down. I'll put it on my watch list, but I'm not going to go and buy it right away. So you'll notice that a lot of these and all of them are dividend investing stocks. This list just keeps going for days. Starbucks, my saying, I like to go tell people instead of buying Starbucks, go buy Starbucks, the company. So if you wanted to, right now it's $95. Again, some huge companies in here, 3M, dividend aristocrats, mostly looking at their returns, making sure that when I'm looking at Lowe's, for instance, that was one that was really appealing to me over the last few days. Lowe's has a really nice dividend history, a nice dividend growth chart. If you look at Seeking Alpha, that's a great resource to look at this research. And so that's basically the update for this week. $543 over the last 3 months. I am up $47.84. This does not include dividends being reinvested. And just to show the projection of where we're at, you can see this portfolio illustrates where we are with everything in a more visualized point of view. And this is again from Andrei Jikh, I believe is how you pronounce it. And this was a really great tool for me to visualize it because, again, just looking at a list of stocks and what's going up and down didn't help me, but now I can actually see. And of course, there's tools like M1 Finance that would kind of visualize this for you, but I wanted something that I could take with me on my computer and just kind of manually put my hands on what we're looking at. And you'll see that my portfolio has about 14 companies on there, 15 companies, the number of shares, the average buy price. I did update this a little bit because it didn't take into account dividends that I reinvest. It doesn't take into account any new buys. For instance, I purchased 1 share of Ford, and then I purchased like 3, then I purchased 2 more. So it didn't really give me a good representation of what I was doing there. So what I did was take the number of shares that I've purchased, and then I took the average buy price from that, and Robinhood gives you that information. So you get the market price, the loss, the gains. I also added this column. to let me know where those are. You can see here that my Robinhood portfolio is taking over my TDA portfolio. And then here we have the graph that shows the dividend income. This is really nice. I like the fact that it's all a part of this one program. I do have a Google spreadsheet that has my graph that Joseph Carlson put together. So that's a really good one. I'm going to be using that one for more of the projections and seeing where everything's going. This is kind of matter of fact where things are right now. The other portfolio, which if you're interested in seeing it, just leave a comment below. Do you want to see that portfolio tracking spreadsheet? Leave me a comment. This one just shows where we're at today. So you can see my very first dividends in June paid $1.28. This past month was $6.17. And then for August, as things compound, as the dividends are being reinvested, as I put more money into the market, you will start seeing this number obviously go up. So thank you guys so much for taking a look. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below. If you find value in this type of information, please like and subscribe.